good morning, or I should just say good day. Rare Evo, wonderful to have all of you here today, and everybody watching from home or for posterity, great to have you tuning in. My name is Sheldon Hunt, and I have the enormous pleasure of being on stage with these four esteemed guests, and we are going to get right into what I would dare say is probably the most interesting topic, I think, for the future of blockchain, and that is the intersection of blockchain and AI. There's a lot to unpack. We've only got 25 minutes, so you have to bear with us. We're going to be a little bit succinct here in trying to get through a lot. There's a lot to unpack. And I'll actually maybe kick it off by having each one of you kind of introduce yourselves, talk about what you're currently working on, and what brought you here. If I could put you on the spot, Luke.
Yeah, sure. No, I'm Luke Mulks. I'm VP of Business Operations at Brave and the Basic Attention Token. At Brave, we're a web browser, but kind of like user-first software, and we have 80 million monthly active users. We have a search engine, and we're kind of integrating AI. We have an AI bot in the browser, AI summarizer in our search engine, and we also have crypto built right in with like a multi-chain self-custody. So a lot of ways where this can, kind of come together around, helping people to onboard, helping people with, information around like markets and things like that, but also around things like, authentication, identity, stuff like that too.
I'll go next then.
Yes.
Hi everyone, Raquel Buscaino. I lead Deloitte's Novel and Exponential Technologies team, or our next team, where we sense and make sense of emerging tech for a firm and clients. So actually a lot of my work these days is focused on the intersection of different technologies, so AI and blockchain, robotics and space tech, right? So what we're seeing is a lot of innovation is happening at the intersection, and so I'm excited for this panel.
Hi, I'm Navin, Vethanayagam, the chief brain at IQ.wiki. We're the world's largest blockchain encyclopedia. We've got thousands of pages on topics from DeFi to NFTs to Ethereum. We used all of that data to train IQ GPT, the first AI agent for blockchain knowledge. And now we're working on building IQ Code, the first AI for auditing smart contracts.
Hi, I'm Kenneth Hurley. I'm the CEO of GNUS.AI. We're building basically a DPIN, a decentralized physical infrastructure network that's a mesh of nodes that does AI, but they do it behind the scenes, like when you're playing a game. A game can be a node. And so the monetization, it opens up monetization channels for games or apps that can do the AI processing, and that's basically what we built with GNUS.AI.
Very good. Thank you very much for being here. It's wonderful to have all of you. I wanted to kind of, in the time that we've got, kind of break down what you guys think are some of the more outstanding issues that you each face when it comes to really bringing together AI and blockchain. What are some of the use cases that you yourselves are working on, and just, how did you get to be there?
Yeah, I think, our concern primarily up front, especially with like introducing like AI tech in our software, is like making sure that people have options that, kind of maintain really strong privacy protections, because a lot of people don't think about the impact of like what they input, what these companies do when you're inputting things. This is directly stuff you're putting from your head into the software, right? So there's that end of it. And then also like you see a lot of things, especially election season, right? Like where deep fakes and things like this, and like how can you kind of like use the blockchain to like make people like authenticate and in ways to kind of like validate that what you're seeing is from the actual person that's intending to put it out there. So those are the things. I think a lot of what we're doing is around like making stuff usable, maintaining that privacy, and then kind of keeping that competitive with what else is in the market. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I'll build off that a little bit. So when we talk about the intersection, there's a couple different ways that they intersect. One is the way that AI can be used to help fuel the blockchain industry. So an example of this could be code assistance or generation, right? Then there's how can blockchain fit a niche in the AI industry or provide value there. An example would be how do we make sure that the data, the training data being used to train models, we know where the provenance of those data sets come from. Then there's like the exhaust that comes from compute, where it's, hey, we're just capitalizing on the growth. So there's so many different ways that these industries are intersecting. Because this is a blockchain conference, I think one of the more exciting places to dive into is the ways that blockchain can be used to help provide gaps in the AI industry. And I think part of that comes from, unless you've been living under a rock the last couple of years, AI has been the name of the game. But with AI and the rise of AI, there's issues and conversations around trust, right? How do I know the data set that was used in this model? How do I know how these different weights have been assigned, how a model has changed over time? How do I know the outputs of a model and see if these are AI generated versus human generated? And so those are fundamentally questions about trust at the end of the day. And there's many ways that you can tackle trust as a problem set, but one of the ways is through a technology that provides trust, right? Which is blockchain. Now there's other ways as well, right? We have Deloitte's Trustworthy AI framework, which outlines all the ways that you can instill trust from a different lens. But if I'm in the AI industry, I know that trust is a problem, or trust is at least a concern that people have. I would be thinking through ways that I can mitigate that. And I think that's one of the interesting opportunity spaces, especially for the folks here at this conference, that to be thinking through.
Yep, absolutely.
In terms of the intersection of blockchain and AI, one of the areas that I'm really excited about is going to be the idea of having inference on chain and the idea of having the answers themselves be on chain. So for example, if you ask a model a question that's like an 8 billion parameter question, you'll get an answer, but you don't know that it's from that specific model. There's no record, there's no proof other than the reputation. Ideally in the future, when AI is used for extremely important decisions like cancer diagnosis, ideally what would happen is that you have an on-chain record to make sure that a 30 billion parameter model was used instead of an 8 billion parameter model. So I think that's going to be one of the big movements in terms of AI and blockchain. The challenge right now is the throughput. To record everything on chain is very challenging. We do this currently with IQ.wiki with editing, but to do it on an AI scale where you're having answers every second is very challenging, but I think that blockchain will overcome this sooner or later. Currently there's a lot of new blockchains coming out that are much faster, like Monad, Ethereum Max. We're working on our own chain, like IQ Chain, specifically dedicated for AI. So I think we're going to see the space move that way.
Enjoying the event? Fire up that wallet and delegate your ADA to Rare Stake Pool. For over 3 years, Rare has been committed to providing high-quality staking services. And we're now Chang Hard Fork ready. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, for us, we have built our own blockchain, and basically it's pretty fast, all in C++ because we support games and game engines, but the underlying technology actually stores it decentralized on IPFS or any storage system, so it's pretty fast. But the intersection I view in blockchain and AI is kind of multifaceted. In general, you can take the player, for instance, in a game, you could take the players, how they're playing in a game, and whether they're having a hard time doing that, store that information in a log on IPFS, for instance, and then turn around and run that same thing through machine learning and kind of figure out better gameplay and things like that. That's just one aspect of it. But for us, because we're building a infrastructure that does the AI processing, we found many industries kind of want to use the blockchain to basically monitor like impact investing, for instance. So they can use AI to monitor the stream, how clear streams are, how non-toxic streams are, lakes are, and stuff like that. And so they can both use, it's mainly machine learning, the AI part of it. Games do use AI, and they have been using AI. But in general, our system is more kind of machine learning over AI. You can still use our system for AI because we use a GPU to do that. But in general, to us, I think the intersection of blockchain is really the storage medium for models and things like that, so we can quickly load those into a decentralized infrastructure to do the processing and basically reduce the cost of AI processing by more than 80%, basically, over the traditional higher-end GPUs that are being used.
Very good. Well, so I'm going to also throw another question back at you there, Ken. And we actually talked a little bit on like the side there, so throwing a little bit of a spinner here for you guys. Because blockchain itself comes with a lot of loaded terminology, a lot of expectations. There are questions about pushing power to the edges. And then with AI, it also comes with its own loaded components of, as you mentioned before, like deep fakes. There's a lot of potential social complications that come here. And so the question I wanted to kind of throw to you guys is, in your own domain, what do you think is like the largest issue going forward? Is it a social issue or is it technological? Is it trying to get better chips, faster programming, or is there a decentralization component, a social component that has taken a bit more time to finesse? So I think there's going to be perhaps some differences in opinion here when it comes to centralization and decentralization and what's the sweet spot. So kind of want to maybe throw it over to you. I know it's a big thing, but
I'm not a big believer in regulation on AI. AI is a tool. A hammer is a tool. You can use a hammer for good, you can use it for bad. So you want to regulate hammers? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But in general, the thing that I see for the future is that a lot of the high-end chips, the H100s that NVIDIA makes, they don't make a lot of those. There's only 550,000 of them made, and they're made in Taiwan at a company called TSMC. I worked for NVIDIA for 4 years, so I know they're a fabulous semiconductor. And so scaling that to fit the needs of AI demand has been very hard to do because they have 18-month lead times or 2-year lead times on that. And so we kind of operate as a decentralized platform that can go out to kind of any device. And that, like you said, to the edge. We're basically pushing everything around the world to the edge. It can operate on your iPhone or your home computers or any of that. And so, yeah, I think it's not reducing the electricity per se, but it's reducing where the electricity is sourced from, which can be, cheaper and more friendly to the environment and things like that. But it's not really reducing the electricity costs. It still takes electricity to run the GPU, even though it's decentralized. It's like, okay, he's running 5%, he's running 5%, he's running 5%. So that's, it's kind of something that I think people don't understand, that it's going to use the same amount of electricity no matter what.
I think in terms of centralized versus decentralized AI, I think the biggest thing is that we need decentralized AI because we need more transparency. Like, I think one of the biggest issues is, currently so much of AI innovation resources is concentrated in the biggest companies and organizations. And it's even worse than that because sometimes we don't even know who controls these organizations. Even the people who are in them don't even know. For example, Sam Altman at OpenAI. So I think this is a key example of why we need more transparency. So what we do with the IQ token is that the direction that we build, what we build, is all determined by IQ token holders. So if you stake the IQ token, you can vote on what we develop. You can be the safety regulator if you like.
So you mentioned transparency as one of the key themes there. I think regardless of the decentralized, centralized conversation, the thing that I'm looking for and looking forward to most is a reframe of the blockchain industry and how we showcase value prop, right? It's not that your solution is a multi-chain, no. What is the value that you're providing in the industry? Is it transparency? Is it clear and aligned to unique product market fit that was talked about earlier? And so for me, the conversation is very specific to the use case you're trying to address, the problem you're trying to solve. And even just walking around the show floor, the startups, the companies that are working on this and have that clear value alignment, I think that's where I'm excited the industry is heading.
Yeah, and for me, I think regulatory wise, crypto and AI are kind of on similar paths there, but I don't think it's something people should wait for. And I don't think you're ever going to get the right answer from policy or maker or politician or whatever. I think accessibility is a really huge thing with AI and with crypto in general too. And I think the two of those working together can put the tools in the hands of people so that they don't fall behind. And they're putting a lot of effort on that. I mean, as a browser, we have global user base, and there's issues around making sure that everyone can access it. If they're bought off, crypto can jump in and you can pay with that for what you're trying to do. And we're tooling around with that too, having a token that people are earning in the browser. But I think that, really, I have a podcast to interview a lot of people in the AI space pretty frequently, and the recurring theme that everyone is, I asked them what they're concerned about, and a lot of them are just access. Whole countries can fall behind, right? If they get regulated out of being able to use the tools, they're going to fall behind. So that's a big area of focus for us.
Yeah, you bring up a very, very valid point there, that we've got very uneven development, right? We've got some markets, some regions that have just supercharged ahead, utilizing technology and primarily AI, and they're starting to see the windfalls of that. but there are others who are very much behind. And so like actually kind of on that theme, kind of like now looking at how the world has shaped itself for the last little while and its interactions with AI, putting on a bit of like a thinking hat looking forward, even just say 5 years. Because, like realistically, 5 years ago, I don't think any of us would have thought we've perhaps progressed as quickly as we have. And so I know it might be a little bit kind of outrageous to be thinking forward 5 years, but what do you think this industry and this intersection will look like 5 years from now? And then a bit of a bonus there, singularity, is it near?
I'm not too worried about the singularity part of that. I think that we can't get video conferencing right. So there's a lot of room for improvement. But what I do hope you see like within the next 5 years is a lot of these technologies working more seamlessly together. There's a lot of things that AI can do with crypto, whether it's automated trades or a lot of beneficial things and making life easier for people. But it's also going to be a lot of disruption in the workforce. And so I think that within 5 years from now, you'll get a lot more clarity around like how people's roles have changed to adapt and how these tools have become more ubiquitous and integrated into people's work lives and home lives and all that stuff. And that's all huge opportunity for the market, right? Like you're going to have a whole wave of industry that around like hardware, peripherals, blah, 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 all that stuff it'll kind of go from there. So not the most like glamorous answer, but like, I just wanted to get out there, right? Like, yeah.
No, I mean, I like the clarity and the tech interoperability. I think it's real. I hope in 5 years, we have very mature business models and ecosystems that support this. I think that's what I'm looking forward to most. And I think part of it comes from incentive alignment. So one of my favorite quotes is, show me the incentives and I'll show you the outcomes. And so what incentive do you say AI companies have for implementing blockchain or using blockchain, right? Maybe it could be regulatory compliance. It could be, IP, copyright protection, whatever it is. But I think that if we focus on the incentives in the industry and then we focus on the business models that could support that robustness, we're going to be looking in a really good spot in 5 years from now. And then, the singularity.
I would say in the next 5 years, one of the big shifts is we're going to see payments and finance even more move towards the blockchain space, because right now AI models, they're very capable, but if we're going to the next stage where they're agents where they can manage their own money, AI agents, they can't KYC, so they're going to need blockchain technology to do payments, to work across the world. As these agents become more powerful, as they work together, as there's composability, as they're building on top of each other, what we're going to need is blockchain. And what we're going to see is a huge transfer of value onto the blockchain. So like the same way like you would have doctors or lawyers getting paid, you would have AI agents getting paid and transmitting value between each other.
So I'll just say that I think this is coming a lot quicker than you guys think, actually, because I don't believe this is 5 years out. I think this is like a year and a half out. Our system actually does everything that he's talking about, where our AI nodes, like we signed an agreement with a company, a ISP, an internet service provider in Malaysia, in the Philippines, and they have 200,000 users that have these set-top boxes that have GPUs on them. And so we're going to leverage that GPU to do AI, and we're paying out in cryptocurrency to those agents that they have it. And so these people in Malaysia or in the Philippines that make $100 a month are now going to increase their income through the blockchain, being paid out in our Genius token that actually can go out to fiat currencies and Ethereum. So I think we're a lot closer than you guys think.
So the singularity is near then?
What's that?
The singularity, it's near?
I wouldn't call it a singularity. I mean, that's a whole nother can of worms. I read his book, and I don't think we're going to get to that point anytime soon. That's just something completely different than AI and solving world problems like curing cancer and stuff like that. That's a whole nother thing.
Yes, yeah. Just got to solve the immediate problems in front of us, case by case. Yeah. Well, I want to thank all of you for being here today. It's wonderful to chat on this. There's a lot more we could go through, of course. But yeah, wanted to maybe quickly get your last thoughts and see if you maybe perhaps tell all of those in the audience where would be the best place to follow all of you in your own journey in your work, and how would they follow what you're currently building?
go to brave.com or search.brave.com and download and use our stuff. And then I'm on Twitter just at Luke Mulks. But yeah, you don't need to hear me. You can just use our stuff. That's what I would love. And buy our token if you want. But.
I'd say if you're interested in Deloitte's trustworthy AI framework, we do make it publicly available online. You can follow me on LinkedIn, socials, all of it. And then I just say I'm looking forward to getting to meet more folks who are here for the conference. I mean, the energy of this conference really is palpable, so it's exciting. And so thanks for having us.
You can check us out on iq.wiki. We also have iqgpt.com. We're building iqcode.ai, which will be the first AI for smart contract auditing. So that's just a couple of our sites, so make sure to check it out.
GNUS.AI is the main website, but we have a great active Telegram group. And if you really want to talk to us, we have a booth back there by the second stage with a sister company called Graffiti Entertainment that's doing a bunch of the games for us. So just stop by there and feel free to talk to me anytime.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you again very much for being here. I want to thank all of you in the audience. Thank you very much for being here at this very special discussion on AI and blockchain. The future is bright. I'm very optimistic, and let's build a better future together. And thank you very much again.
Rare Evo 2025 tickets are on sale now. Save big. General admission passes are discounted to $250, and VIP passes are only $800. Join us August 7th through 9th, 2025 at Caesars Palace, Las Vegas. Hurry, only 30 days left to save. Visit rareevo.io and buy your tickets now.